Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. Hoping my voice stays together for this, but yeah,
I mean, you sound great so far.
it sound great. Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone to uh, a new or refreshed version of something that actually Dan used to do called
What?
the Office
Yeah.
Hours.
Refresh. Yeah. Rebrand.
Rebrand?
Bring it back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Run back. Something. Yeah.
A glow up, maybe?
And what you're here now, Asia. So yeah, we can
Oh
call
my
it that. You
gosh.
got the
Stop.
background music and the cool overlays and stuff.
you
So
know. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Office Hours, which is our old made new series where we're just gonna be hanging out with everyone. All of our streamer friends, our event streaming friends, whether you're into sports, House of Worship, just different fun niche creative things that you're doing. All of our content creators out there, welcome in. My name is Asia, and I'm here with Dan. And actually, we're representing the QA
QA
team.
team. Yeah.
It was crazy. And we're just here to just talk through just different fun streaming topics. Today, we're gonna be talking about like building our stream checklists, and so we're just gonna want to go back and forth and talk through things that are on our checklists. And I also really want to know what is on everyone else's checklist or any questions that you may have. I see Katie is in the chat over on Facebook. Welcome in.
Heck yeah. Yeah. No,
But
we should also mention that this live stream we're hoping to do this at least monthly starting out,
yes.
and you'll see different people rotate through. It's not just going to be Asia and I for each of these,
Mm-hmm.
and the main point of it is to answer some of your questions as well.
Yeah.
So always when we go live, if you have a good question, specifically about if you need help live streaming or figuring out how to do that, Asia's a pro. She's live
So is
streamed
Dan.
before. She was with Switcher. I just know the platform really well. But yeah, we can answer we'll try and answer as many questions as we can in the comments as well. So yeah, make sure you comment them. I don't know where it is, if it's here or there. Yeah, maybe no, that's
Wherever.
you. Maybe here. I don't know. Wherever it is.
Here? No. Yeah, I think we're in the right direction. Here on Facebook. I don't know about YouTube. Is YouTube below? I don't know.
I think
Smash
it. I
that
think it
like
depends on
button.
where you're. I
Subscribe.
think it.
Click that bell.
Yeah, it might just matter what you're watching on as well. Because if you're
Yeah,
watching
that's
on,
true.
your phone or something, it's going to be much different.
Oh
So
yeah, good point. Good
wherever
point.
it is.
Yeah, wherever you may be watching us, however you may be watching us, anywhere where there's a comment bubble, feel free to share your comments, including Genevieve. Hi, welcome in. Genevieve is a streamer over on Twitch that we somehow bumped into each other digitally, and we were like, wait, we both use
That's so
Twitcher.
fun.
So that was
That
fun.
is such a good story.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
Um,
So let's
but
talk.
yeah, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because like the topic we were going to cover is our streaming checklist and what we do to get ready for a live stream. And it's funny because I had a couple that I'd come up with, and we kind of talked through it a little bit before we went live. And then like I'm getting ready to go live right now, and there's some things that I did that I don't think I didn't think about at first.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is interesting how you can think about this stuff, but then when you're actually doing it, you might have some other things that kind of the light bulb goes on. You have some other things to add to the checklist.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was like a in real time, like, oh, inspiration for today.
Mhm.
Okay, well, what are like some things that are generally on your stream checklist? Because by the way, if you missed it earlier, we're talking about what is on our personal streaming checklists, things that we want to make sure are ready to go or all set up before we press the go live button. So I want to know what Dan is on his list.
Well, one thing I think that's super important is, especially if you're doing something like this where we're remote guests, there's just a river between us, not too far, but obviously I'm joining Asia via remote guest. And I think it should be on everyone's checklist if you're doing something like that is make sure you're setting up 10, 15 minutes early just to make sure everything is working correctly. For instance,
Yes.
we connected and everything looked fine, and then my internet just looked terrible, and I
Like literally
was
all of a sudden he was coming in crystal clear, and then all of a sudden he was like a cloud version of himself.
but since we had that time to, you know, troubleshoot and figure it out, I just went and got Ethernet cable and plugged directly into Ethernet here, so I had a more stable connection. And you know, after doing that, it seems like it's working well now.
Yeah, you're coming in great.
Yeah, I think there's some obvious ones like, you know, charge your devices. You know, I won't go through all of them. I'll do. I had two that I thought were really interesting that I didn't think about beforehand, and then I'll let you do some as well, Asia.
Yeah.
But one thing I did was make sure everything around me is muted. So you know, like my phone's on vibrate or silent, and I make sure that nothing's gonna ding at me. I say that now I remember that I have an iPad that's connected and that's not silented. So
We'll
hopefully
cross
no
our
one texts me
fingers.
during this. But that's one. And the other one that I think is super important is get rid of distractions. So, you know, like if you have Discord or something and you talk to people a lot, or, you know, we use Slack for our intercompany communications, you know, closing out of some of that stuff so you're not getting, you know, notifications or something that might like mix up your brain and mess it up.
Yeah,
So there's
absolutely.
there's two that those are two that I thought of quickly. Yeah.
Those are good ones. Yeah. There's one that Genevieve put in chat that I was actually gonna say, or something similar, for all of our friends who, you know, have pretty cool setups. Everyone has like really cool setups in these switchers. It's so cool to see. But those who use like external audio devices to bring in audio, like mixers and stuff. And Genevieve said to plug in the mixer, make sure that's actually on. So that's a really good one. And on that note, just because Apple devices sometimes can be finicky about like the like order in which you plug things in, just making sure that your audio device that you have connected is actually showing as the audio source, because sometimes it doesn't do that, and that can be because you're using like a multi-port adapter and you have something else plugged in. It could be like literally any reason, so just
like
double checking.
Yeah, it's the order of operations. Like here's a scenario.
Yeah.
You plug in, you check all your audio is looking great, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to output switcher onto a monitor for someone to view.
Yeah.
And you plug in your HDMI cable, and those Apple devices say, hey, I can use audio here. I'm going to do that. So if you do that, you have to unplug and plug back in your audio interface.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a silly thing that sometimes it stumps me. So that's one thing I have to like double check, because there have been a couple times where I streamed, maybe not like super recently, but in the last couple years, where I totally thought like everything was set up the way it should, except the audio was not like, it was not recognizing my mixer as the audio. And so I had stream starting and you could hear Spotify playing kind of through speakers going through the mic, and you could hear me just like kind of talking to myself and like just breathing like a normal person, but it just sounds so chaotic when people are coming from a stream or watching your stream. So that is the the main like audio thing that I really have to check on. Also, for everyone that's joining, we had a couple people ask about this. I do want to talk about this in just a second. I want to keep talking through our stream checklist first, but we will talk about Scene Builder a little bit since we're showcasing that today.
Yeah, tell us what do y'all think of it?
We want to know.
It's been a long time coming.
Dan's been doing so much work to make it happen. Dan and
I don't write the code or anything. We're just testing it, but we haven't gotten into Scene Builder yet, but I'm curious how you all are using it as well.
Yes.
Right now we are talking about our streaming checklist with the things we do before we go live. And yeah, we'll answer any questions. So yeah, like that's the main focus of this, is if you guys have some questions, throw them in the comments wherever you can, and we'll try and answer whatever we can. Another before you go live or something on my checklist is make sure you have water
Oh
close by,
yes,
because you never know when you're going to get that scratch in your throat and
exactly.
need to grab a quick drink. So,
That's a good one. Yeah, I would say also if you're running, if this is also like another one for like maybe more sophisticated stream setups, but if you are running any like software parallel to Switcher when you're going live, like for example, I use Lumia Stream for just like some interactive things for Twitch mainly, making sure like all of that is turned on and ready to go, and not disabled at the time of you go live, or else all of your automations that you took so much time to put together will not happen when you go live, and it's so sad. So yeah, just making sure anything else that you're running alongside, if you're, you know, if you're monitoring comments, if you're multi-streaming to multiple destinations, and you want to monitor from those platforms directly, making sure you have all those comments up. Like that's like in addition to Dan's item of like removing distractions, like only have the things in view that you need to have to make sure your streams run, and try not to, you know, be looking at Pinterest in the background, just scrolling, because now's not the time, I promise.
I promise you, if I'm looking off to the side here or something, it's because I'm reading the comments on Facebook. I've got the Facebook stream pulled up over here.
I know it's popping today. I love it.
Yeah. Always good to see comments come through.
Yeah.
Those good questions. Yeah, I've got another. This could be like a silly thing, you know, or a streaming checklist is make sure we talked about audio and make sure it's plugged in and stuff, but also we'll checking your audio levels with each other. So you want to make sure one person's not too loud. If you have music underneath or something, you know, make sure that is at a correct, appropriate volume. But also when you go live, like I need a sticky note somewhere that says unmute your guests, because at least 5 to 10 times I've done that. I say 1 in 5 times I probably do that, is what I should say. Like Asia was like, "Oh, I'll just unmute you. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Oh, you sure? I could do it for you if you want, because you got other things going on." I'm like, "Nah, Asia's definitely got this. It's not me doing it over here who's going to just, you know, be talking to the void. Asia's going to be trying to talk and not work." But
well, normally when I'm using the remote guest feature for streams, it's with a podcast that I'm a part of called Moviga, and there's like 4 or 5 people, so managing just one person's audio versus 4 to 5 people is a breeze. So I feel like I'm sure they helped me walk so I could fly with you today.
There you go.
Anything else on your checklist?
I'm trying to, like, I mean, there's a ton of things, you know. At least make sure you talk about, or you have a mental checklist of what you want to talk through when you go live. Make sure your batteries are charged.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, especially for people who are using the like remote remote camera. It's like just using a multicam setup, making sure they're either plugged in or have like access to a like a battery backup or something if you're going longer, because it can eat up your battery a little bit, and you just don't want to be a sad person when your iPhone dies in the middle of your stream.
Like, yeah, don't want any of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else super not obvious, because there are some obvious things, but there's some other things I'm not sure people would always think of. And another one, I guess the last one I'll throw out there is if you're streaming and there's other people on your same network or in like the same place you are, just let them know that you're going live. So, you know, like there's not stomping around you, or, you know, music starts playing somewhere, or, you know, they start uploading, downloading, streaming a ton of different videos or something and tank your internet connection, then your stream doesn't look good. So yeah, just make sure
outside this room, like right above this door, I have like a little, not neon, but like a fake neon sign that I can turn on that says on air. It's like to indicate like, hey, relax everyone. Don't come in here and do laundry. Don't like try to download insane amount of stuff. Don't try to upload insane amount of stuff. And so that's a nice visual indicator to the rest of people in your home, because I would imagine like a lot of people are streaming from shared spaces or from their home or something. I would imagine not everyone has like a studio that they're streaming from, so helping out the other people in that space will help you
Right.
out in the end.
I remember one of our like really early offices. It was like a tiny one room and it had two small rooms off of it. And there was like 8 of us trying to work out of it. And we would go live and it'd be like we had an on-air button. It's just like no one like what are we doing with this on-air button? Like
Yeah.
everyone's literally right here. We kicked everybody out of the office when
Right.
when we had to go live.
Leave. That's so funny. Jenna had another good one in here. This is kind of specific to Twitch, but because I also do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
On Twitch, you have an option to like have a go live notification, which is really fun. And so just remembering if you want them to be different every time you go live, to go into your stream manager on Twitch and updating that go live notification so it doesn't for example, my buddies at Moviga, they'll always notoriously forget, and the notification is like Slayin in Baldur's Gate 3 and we're just doing a podcast, and so it's like a little bit misleading. So just
Slightly
making sure all your
different.
information is correct.
That's a good point. Yeah, for sure. Good point.
But
think,
yeah, I would
like-
love to hear more in chat. Like if you have any stream checklist things that are on your checklist. But while people are adding their suggestions there and their insight, I would love to know, Dan, what you think about the scene builder feature that just came out. It's so exciting.
I know it is really exciting. I'll also mention because I'm just watching it on Facebook. You probably have the YouTube up too. I don't know. I think this was shared into our Switcher Studio enthusiast group as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's comments coming through there or YouTube, and I think Claire's watching from our
Yes,
team.
I
She can
believe
maybe
so.
just slack them to us or get them somewhere for us to see. We can talk through them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, scene builder. Let's talk about it. I'm just really excited. It's finally here and out in the wild. I think it does. It's funny how it's kind of evolved. Where when I first started live streaming, like this is before Switcher Studio was even a thing.
Mhm.
We're like live streaming graduations and weddings and things like that. Like I'm the software I'm using has you have your preview window, your live window, and then all your assets underneath. And I'm always making sure everything looks good in the preview before I send it live. And Switcher, you have that ability to do that, but and once we added the ability to just like dismiss it and just like it's like a single tap to switch camera angles or something, I'm like, oh, I'm never going to use that because I want to use that preview window.
Mhm.
And as time's gone on, I don't even use the preview window anymore when I live stream.
I know, me neither.
And
The ones that do
You
are
know-
better than us.
right, and then like multi-views and stuff, there's just so many taps, but now you can create this whole scene, and instead of having to tap like 4 or 5 times to send something live, you can just tap one thing and have it be good to go. So I'm really impressed with the work our engineers did. From just the design of trying to figure out how to make it look and work in Switcher to just the actual implementation. Really excited to have it be out there.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's just really cool to be able to be more flexible, because like you can create, I don't know, like beautiful like background images that you're like being really intentional about, and like you want to have your lower thirds be very branded. You want to make them custom. You don't want to build them in the app. Like I totally get that. But sometimes, like for example, this series that we're doing, Office Hours, we're gonna be swapping through different people. If we didn't have the scene builder, we'd have to like either like create graphics for every single background, or have your multi-view and then have like, for example, there are like four different image overlays on this screen right now, in addition to the background. And you just would have to like build everything individually, which is cool that you could do that, but it's so much nicer that I can literally just one tap now, like
Exactly.
go from our title screen to this beautiful frame of me and Dan with our info and everything. So yeah, I'm just really excited about seeing it in the wild now and seeing people use it and have different scenarios for what what they're using it for. So I just can't wait to hear how everyone is playing around with it. It's so exciting.
I saw a couple cool comments come through Facebook. I saw like Samuel talking about the preview. And they said that they don't use the preview unless they have to frame a camera shot.
Oh,
and
true.
I think that's a great use of the preview windows to be able to do that.
Yeah,
especially if you're like connected to an Osmo or something and like
Mhm.
can't physically get to that camera. Yeah, much
Right.
easier to do it that way.
Mhm.
Great idea.
We did have a question come through socials earlier from Will Gamboa, and it was, can we combine the features EPTZ and Scene Builder? It's a great question. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Because if you have so part of the Scene Builder is you can like add your sources and pre-select your sources or whatever you want to do. So as long as like your camera source is one of those sources in your Scene Builder, you can control it through the EPTZ controls, which is really nice. So that's a really good like use case.
Yeah, for sure. I think Claire sent us a question too.
Yes. Southwest Barrels from YouTube asks, is this video being streamed live using the Scene Builder? Yes, it is. We're flexing it today. We had to.
Do you know, it's funny, and like just talking about the testing going into Scene Builder. I did a live stream during the February, what did we call it? Stream Your Heart Out for February, which was a lot of fun. I did one with Nick, and I had a beta that had Scene Builder on it, and I was going to use that for the live, just so people, I was just like, it was going to be like a subtle thing to see if people were like, wait, how did he switch that quickly? And like everything popped up all at once. Like how did that happen? See if anyone picked up on it. But in setting up the scene, I found some bugs, so I did not do it.
Yeah, this like actual usable version for everyone is just, it's so cool to see how much work went into, how many iterations went into making it what it is today, which is very exciting. Let's see, we have a question from, this is a more just like general question, not necessarily scene building question. Blaine Boykin from YouTube asks, I'm just gonna kind of like generally say, can I stream my church service off a mobile hotspot device?
Yeah. You want me to like, yeah, like that's, it depends on the mobile hotspot for sure. And like how much data you have. My biggest recommendation, or what I always tell people if they're thinking about doing a hotspot, is talk to your internet provider who's providing that hotspot. Let them know exactly what you're trying to do, so you're not going to get to a situation where it's like an unlimited plan in the sense that you have X amount of gigabytes at the high speed and then they drop you down to a lower speed. Let them know like you need that constant speed, and I'm sure they can help you figure that out. But yeah, you can set like, there's some crazy things you can do where you could set up like a local network, have this really robust mesh network for all your cameras and everything to connect to, and then run that into your hotspot and have your hotspot broadcast out. Which is nice because the hotspot probably only have you on that network, so it's not going to get congested with other devices and stuff. 10 to 12 megabits per second upload speed is the minimum of what I would recommend for 1080p streaming. But if you're able to do that, I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah, doing anything you can to optimize your internet connection and also like your Wi-Fi connection for just like having your remote devices be in sync with each other and not lag is super helpful. Like you can use the reinforced Wi-Fi setting for remote cameras, because I know sometimes people get can be frustrated with like, wait, why is this lagging? And it could be a couple of different things, but it likely the first thing we check is like the robustness of your Wi-Fi, and so that's like one thing to check on. So that honestly that adds back to our stream checklist. That's one thing I always do just in case, because I just want to make sure everything stays in sync all the time. Why risk it, I don't mind like a couple seconds delayed because of for the sake of all my cameras like always being in sync and never freezing or lagging.
Yeah.
But as you are trying Scene Builder, you're doing different things with your streams, if you encounter issues, our support team is so excellent. You can always email support@switcherstudio.com as you encounter issues and questions. They are so thorough and I'm happy to help. I love them so much. So I'm sure they would love to hear from you all.
Yeah, for sure. If you have any questions at all, support@switcherstudio.com. They'll help you out. You'd be surprised that if you go to the help center, is it switcherstudio.com/help center?
It's,
like what's the
support.switcherstudio.com.
support? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, support.switcherstudio.com. You can also just search around there. You can definitely find some good information there as well.
Absolutely. Anything else before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I was going to say, I know we're trying to keep these to about 15 to 30 minutes. And I think we're right at just about at the 30
we're pushing
minutes.
it. We're always pushing it, Dan.
Yeah, but no, I'm glad to get back in here, do some live streams with you all. We're hopefully going to make a more regular thing of this to, answer those questions for you if you need help live or in the spot, or you think of something, we're here to help, and we want to make sure that you're successful live streaming.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We're here for you.
We also love to read all of your comments after the stream. So if you're catching up on the live, or you're watching this after we're live, feel free to share all of your stream checklist items or any questions you may have. Our mods will do their best to make sure everyone's questions are answered if they're able to. But it's been so fun hanging out today.
I know. I like seeing, like, I'm seeing some names come through that I've definitely seen before as well.
People from all over.
Genevieve, we've seen Kevin Jack, is a longtime user. It's always good to see him in these. Eric as well from Mexico. So great to see everybody. Great to be back, and hello. I know Eric has been using the Scene Builder. I know he shared some stuff in our Switcher Studio Enthusiast and the Spanish speaking group as well. So cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. Or that's gonna be it for us. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Dan. We had a great time. Look forward to next month sometime when a couple other teammates will be here for office hours to answer questions and talk about fun, nerdy streaming things. We love to hear it. But I can't wait to hang out with you all then. See you next time.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.